Hello, Watem here and welcome back to small Umineko When Seagulls Cry. Last time I kind of insinuated it... Actually, this is less than a minute ago. What was I thinking? I insinuated something. Yeah, that's right. There will be some possibilities that I kind of discard thinking of. Not because I reject them, but because if it's language-based stuff, I won't have any chance of actually solving that. So it's a possibility. No, me thinking about it more won't actually help solve the riddle, and so therefore there's no real point in thinking of it. But I do still accept it as a possibility and don't reject it. And so that doesn't lead me into dead ends where it must be A or it must be B when I know, yeah, there's a third option C, but I mean, I can't actually make any progress working on C. So it's fair, but it does influence my actions, but I don't necessarily bring it up because I don't really gain anything from thinking about it too deeply. Anyway, I have to search in an atlas. But even if I know that, I don't know from what I should take for 6 characters.
本当にわからないの?
Sounds like you know.
よく考えて。私たちは下手に頭がいいから発想が固いのよ。碑文の謎なんて大層に考えないで、子供の謎だと思って。男なんていくつになったって子供なの。お父様が老境に差し掛かったとしても、心の中の本質的な部分は子供と何も変わらない。お父様への畏怖を捨てるの。マリアが船の中で突然出してくるようなくだらなくて低俗な謎遊びだと思って。謎くだらない低俗なあれは確かなんだっけ。
I'm sure, if my memory isn't wrong, that it's probably the case. No, I don't have to rely on my vague memory. I should be able to figure that out immediately by searching the library.
私たちは多分もう答えに気づいてるわ。あとはそれが正しいか調べるだけよ。
Even then, I doubt that they're going to solve the riddle, the Epitaph, this early. We're only on episode 3.
さあ、エヴァ。
I do think that I was going to leap to conclusions today.
誰にも気づかれないように書庫へ。
For perfect opportunity to be killed?
あそこにはお父様の書斎から溢れ出した硬い本が山積みよ。
Or to be mysteriously, unsuspiciously unaccounted for?
きっと私たちの疑問に答えてくれる本が見つかるわ。急いで。これが生涯で最初で最後の私たちの夢の叶うチャンス。
When Natsuhi tried to lay a blanket over her, Eva suddenly jumped up.
ごめんなさい。起こしてしまいましたね。
エヴァ、眠いなら無理をしなくていいぞ。お前から休みなさい。
ありがとう。ちょっとお化粧室に行って顔を洗ってくるわね。
無理をせんと休んだ方がいいで。また体に触るで。
本当に大丈夫だったわ。すぐ戻るわね。
After leaving only those words behind, I rapidly left the lobby. The lobby was partitioned off by a door, so as soon as I went into the corridor, they could no longer see me. Oh, the library is in the guest house, I guess. The library was next to the servant room. Father always owned a vast book collection. But ever since he started to become engrossed with his occult hobby, that collection grew even larger. So if normal books suitable for a normal study had been forced out as the study overflowed. This so-called library was mostly used as a storage room for those normal books. Ah, that explains why they're here as opposed to the actual mansion. They're all thick, like complete encyclopedias for intellectuals. But that was very convenient for me, now that I was investigating something. I entered softly, and just in case, I checked the room with my gun readied, making sure that there were no suspicious people there. Then I locked it from the inside. I actually wasn't thinking that the murderer might be hiding somewhere. What scared me was the thought that one of my siblings might hear what I was investigating. My heart started racing before I realized it. I was half asleep just a moment ago, so I didn't realize how significant this thing I noticed was. That we, the readers, will not be made aware of. But as I gradually became aware, my heart started to feel like it was about to explode. Maybe it's something that plays on the word sweetfish? I think sweetfish is an identifier of some kind. I think she just wants to avoid conflict. I pulled the book out and flipped through the pages. Please elaborate for us. So it's obviously, well, at least what they've found is some kind of either geological feature or man-made structure. It's visible in an atlas. It's a physical thing rather than a concept, like a family tree. I guess for a road or railway, with the transport idea, you do run into an issue with what is downstream. It could be downhill, but there's not so much, unless it's a one-way road. Then you've got an up and down.
人口密集地だもの。そんなのいくらでもあるわよ。どうして思考を停止するの？嫌ならやめちゃえば？後ろ宮家の当主は綺麗に譲っちゃえば？嫌よ。私が当主になるの。これがその最初で最後のチャンスなのよ。里って何？里ってどういう意味？この川を下ると里なんてあるの？その里にて二人が口にし岸を探れ。
In the village, look for the shore.
岸よ。分かってる？
No. I don't. You're just putting different quotation marks around it. That doesn't help me. Pieces that I hadn't been able to understand at all began to snap into place, all by themselves. I couldn't even remember to close my open mouth. My throat grew completely dry. Is it really okay for this to be the answer? Really? Really?
でもこれは全然6文字じゃないわ。
Kyrie could be wrong.
これが答えに間違いないって断言できるけど。私肯定しならそれを6文字で読める方法を考えなさい。
I guess there's that too.
思いつかないなら調べなさい。きっと答えはある。それを疑ってはダメ。それが信じられないなら とっとと泣き寝入りでもしてへそでもかいて死んじゃえば。6文字つけた。これが黄金鏡への鍵。
Okay, I was just confused for a second because there was that one quotation mark there, or apostrophe.
それが黄金鏡への、私たちの子供の頃からの夢への鍵。その鍵を刺す鍵穴はあそこしかない。生贄に捧げるのはきっとあれ。
So not literally?
もうわかるよ。
Do you think the other siblings heard her screaming? And of course we get the shatter. So now supposedly Evan knows. Will the others find out though? At 10, coronation. That's early for a coronation.
こっちへのってことよね。こいつらが私をこっちへ回れと誘ってるもの。
Huh? Is it on the island after all? Or maybe it's something else. Maybe the 6 character thing leads to something on the island. My heart leapt, because there, gaping wide, was an opened mouth in the eerie darkness.
何よこれ。
Hmm?
何なのよこれ。
When I strained my eyes, peering into the darkness, I saw something that looked like a light switch. In addition, there was a switch with open and close written on it. When I resolutely pushed the switch, rough lights like you'd find in a coal mine turned on sporadically, making a staircase that stretched underground come hazily into view. Eerily enough, it looked even more gloomy with the lights turned on. Near the light switch that was open and close switch was that open and close switch. It would probably open or close this, but if the open part happened to be broken, I might be shut away in this creepy underground area for all eternity. So for the time being, I didn't touch that switch. And as I readied my gun again, I slowly went down the stairs. The ceiling was very high, so it didn't feel cramped. On the contrary, it felt as though a cool breeze was blowing upwards, and that creepiness seemed to form a sort of aura. As I raided my gun and carefully stared forwards, I descended the stairs. Okay, so this feels too early on 2 accounts. 1, it's only the 3rd episode so far. 2, it's only been the first Twilight so far within this game. The walls, the stairs, the lights, all of them were very old-fashioned. It was easy to suspect that this had been built back when the mansion had been constructed on this island. There were cracks in the ceiling, and water clung to the walls, constantly dripping down. That water fell into a gutter that had been set up alongside the stairs, and quickly and silently flowed into the underground darkness, as though it was telling me to go faster. For a second, the thought popped up into my head, and thinking, maybe this is where Kinzo made the homunculi. And then remembered, yeah, actually, no, limited to 18 people on the island. Never mind. The staircase kept turning back on itself. I don't know how far down I've gone, but I think it's much deeper than 1 floor. Well, eventually, a rough metal door showed itself. There, the characters had been written in the dark red paint. They'd probably been written a long time ago. On the 10th twilight, the journey ends and you shall attain the power of the Golden Land's treasures, once and for the last time. My heart, which was already about to explode, jumped about even more as soon as I recognized those deep red characters. There's no mistake. This is the last stop. Father's Golden Land. It talks about the... Wait. The Epitaph talks about the steps to reach the Golden Land. And so you have to go through all the twilights. I don't want the config, I want the tips. So maybe you need to reach this place after being one of the last 5? After surviving all the first 9 twilights, come here to get the gold, maybe? I calmed my throbbing heart, somehow regained my composure and readied my gun again. But since, in the end, I couldn't open the door with my gun held in both hands, I lowered the gun, carefully hid my breathing, and opened the door. Alternatively, Eva will just disappear from this story. My first impression when I saw the room was that it might be linked to one of the rooms in the mansion. That's right. It had exactly the same atmosphere about it as the sealed VIP room on the 2nd floor. But this was underground, so there was no windows. There was only the solemn light of the grand chandelier. But even though it was dimly lit by the faint light, the quality of the interior was more than enough to take your breath away. Poof! Oh, there's a bunch of gold, and it kind of looks like the walls are all gold-plated. A bed with a canopy, and a rocking chair that looked like it would be comfortable to sit in. An extravagant sofa and carpet. The room was like a dream every girl yearns for at least once. And yet, since it was an underground hidden room with no windows, it felt more like a hidden house of a witch. This also feels somewhat in opposition to the to what Rosa told us earlier in this episode about meeting Beatrice in another mansion. I'd never swallowed the legend of Beatrice, Witch of the Forest. However, after being shown this room, it certainly became hard to doubt that she actually had existed, and had lived in this room. Even though I was completely shocked by this room, I timidly searched the interior with my gun raised. And, at the back of the room, I found it. The gold. My gasp came out strangely, like a bunny being choked. After all, after finding something like this, no one would be able to stop that kind of stupid voice from leaking out. Well, I'm surprised. Well, however she did it, she actually did find the gold, it seems. I suppose if she gets killed, then we can't trust for sure that she actually did manage to reach here. On the opposite side of the canopy bed, it was piled up in a massive heap. It was a mountain of gold ingots. Gold's relatively soft as far as metals go, and also rather heavy. I'm wondering if, maybe the ones at the bottom of the pile should be getting squashed from the weight of all the gold above it. Maybe. Of course, they weren't piled up carelessly in a way that would damage the dignity of this room. A beautiful scarlet satin weave was laid on the mountain of gold, creating a beautiful 3-coloured mix between the red, the gold, and the black of the deep darkness. It was as though, when the witch slept on this bed, the gold would be a respectful chamberlain waiting on her. Nobly, refinedly, gracefully, beautifully. It was attentively piled there with an imposing air. When I tried to grab a single gold ingot, I was surprised at its weight. It was probably about 10 kilograms. Just a syndicate would probably be worth more than 10 million. The Ushramia family crest, one-winged eagle, was lightly imprinted on it. It was hard to tell whether it had worn away, or whether the impression had been made carelessly in the first place. It was certainly the crest of the one-winged eagle. Just how many ingots were powered up there? By doing a quick count here, judging by the height, there had to be a few hundred at least. My mind's already gone blank, so I can't do the math well. Even a moderate guess would put it above several billion yen.
そりゃそうよ。そうに決まってるわよ。だって10トンの黄金よ。時価にして200億円の黄金よ。見つけたわ。
Look at how square the edges of that bed are. I don't think that's going to be very comfortable to lie on. I kind of want to imagine that, like, underneath the sheets there, it's just gold bars or something. In front of a mountain of gold, I spread my arms and looked up at the ceiling. A laugh without a trace of dignity flowed out from my entire body. I had no intention of laughing in a weird way, but I couldn't hold back the happy feeling that was flowing through me. My older brother probably wouldn't accept his loss just because I found this gold. But from now on, there would be no changing the fact that I'd been the one to find it. To steal away the headship of the family. Some more subtle bargaining would probably still be required. But after everything I've gone through until now, that's a completely trivial problem. Even if I lose out on the Ushimiya family headship, I already have 20 billion yen worth of gold, but how are you going to transport it out? Oh, yes. No, there's still things that you can't buy with money.
そんなのは持たざる者の自分への言い訳だったのよ。この黄金の山を前にして私はやっとそんな当たり前を理解したわ。この世のすべての幸せはこの黄金を溶かすことで生み出すことができる。
No.
このお金があれば夫の会社はもう大丈夫。私たち家族はずっと幸せ。
Well, I mean, just look at how the inheritance kind of already has the family, the siblings fighting each other. We will always be happy as a family? Extremely doubt.
そしてジョージにも莫大なお金を残してあげることができる。他の親戚たちなどやがては没落して消えるわ。その時ジョージはこの黄金を使ってまるでお父様がそうしたように復興させてみせるのよ。その時誰も異論を挟めないわ。ジョージこそが後宮家の本当の跡継ぎなのよ。
I feel like that's just imposing your own expectations on him. It happened. My wish was granted. That dream I've wished for ever since I was born into this world, as Ushimiya ever, has been granted completely at this very moment. My husband and I will be happy for all eternity. No. And I can also give my only son, George, eternal happiness. No. There's no way I'll waste it on foolish pleasures. My older brother has chewed the Ushimiya family to bits, but George and I will revive it. And that means I truly have succeeded with the Ushimiya family headship.
成し遂げたわ。やったわ。あなた、ジョージ。私は、母さんはついに成し遂げたわよ。もうこれで誰にも脅かされない。
I mean, they definitely can still threaten you. Oh, I feel awful for wanting this, but I wanted to come out, return with the rest of the family, and George has already been killed. I'm a horrible, horrible person. That's right. After this, never again will we be smothered by sad nights.
おめでとう私おめでとう後ろ宮エヴァ私たちの悲しい半生は今ここに全ての念願が叶って消化されたわあなたのおかげよあなたの魔法があったからこのチャンスに恵まれたこのチャンスがあったから私はここにたどり着くことができたありがとうでも私の魔法は私たちが互いに信じ合わなくちゃ叶えることができなかっただから私の魔法の力だけじゃない私たちの勝利よだからこそおめでとう
It definitely feels like something Sataka would want. She doesn't really care about the other witches. She just wants to win.
私たちありがとう私ありがとう後ろ宮エヴァ今日までくじけなくてよかった悲しみに溺れあがくことを忘れなくてよかったいいえこれは私の魔法
And now Eva becomes Beatrice.
私たちの魔法あなたの魔法は本物だったわ森の魔女ベアトリーチェなんてすでに幻想あなたこそが本当の魔法が使える本当の魔女そうよあなたこそが今や黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェなのよ
Oh dear. Something about to happen? Eva decided to leave for the time being. And she climbed the stairs again, trying to leave the secret place. She saw a creepy, swaying human-like shadow blocking her path, and her dreamlike state was blown away. Oh. I want to leave it here for now. It might be early, but I really want to leave this cliffhanger here. I'm not, as I said, I'm a horrible, horrible person. But I do think that is enough for one part, though. So, somehow Eva has found the gold. Something about the Sweetfish River. We know it's some kind of something that you can see on a map. We don't know if it is actually a river. Maybe it's a mountain chain, for all we know. That somehow Sweetfish River plays into, and it does have something to do with 6 characters. Supposedly. Although, I guess if she is about to die right now, and her body's moved somewhere else, we can't say for sure, actually, that she did make it here. It could just be that we're being shown this, and it's just something we're being shown, and not something to be actually believed. That's always a possibility. What else do I talk about for the next minute? I wonder who the swaying human-like figure could be. Maybe it was wrong for her to try to leave. Maybe if she stayed in there, she would have been safe. On the other hand, if she stays in there, then she's unaccounted for the rest of the game. So you cannot... Things involving her cannot be necessarily trusted, one way or another. I mean, that might still be the case, depending on how this gets resolved. Oh, actually, that reminds me. We saw, supposedly, something take control of Canon. So maybe something like that could happen here as well. We saw that in the last episode. Maybe something like that will happen here as well. And once again, leave us unable to trust this section. Oh, great. Make 2 steps forwards and then realise that all those steps have holes in them. And then you realise that you haven't actually taken any steps forward and you might have just been dreaming the whole time. Oh dear. On that note, I will be ending it there for today. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know any feedback you have in the comments. And until next time, see ya.